Okay, everybody. So just to give an overview of how this call is going to work, I'm going to start off, as always, with my grounding and connecting meditation, just to give everybody on the same wavelength. And then I'm just going to give a brief overview about the StarLion journeys, how they manifested, and what we've achieved over the last 2 years of doing these journeys. So I'm going to hand over to Simon to give you some of the practical information, talk a little bit about the heart work that we do. There'll be an opportunity to ask questions, and we'll get some feedback from past participants. So thank you, those of you that are here. And Eleni, I just have to say thank you for this photograph. This is one of your beautiful photographs of the camp. And then we'll do a heart meditation to close, that you can get a feel of the meditation work and the transformational work that happens which we do every day in the journey. Okay. So if everyone is comfortable and relaxed, this is an image of Mandla, who's the founding elder, founding member, founding male pride member of the White Lion Prides in Sao Conservancy. He is now in spirit. He's in the ancestral realm. He passed away of old age. I think he was 19 when he left this world to go into spirit. So during this meditation, you can either close your eyes or you can just rest your eyes on his eyes. I love this photograph of him, and you can just go right into the depths of that white lion energy. Okay, I see few people are still coming in. So before we start, Simon, maybe you can let them in. Okay, thank you. Okay, and maybe could I ask people just to put your videos off? I'm actually going to put mine off as well, just to stop any distractions. Okay. So take a deep breath in. Feel your feet resting firmly on the ground. Either close your eyes or gently rest them on Mandla's eyes. And as you breathe, just feel yourself relax completely before taking another breath. And as you breathe in, become aware of that beautiful rose gold light that symbolizes the unconditional love of Mother Nature. And breathe that into your heart space, your heart center. And you can either see those sparkles of golden light filling up that heart center in the middle of your chest, or just feel a beautiful warmth as you imagine breathing that light and that love into your heart. And now visualize that unconditional love energy clearing and cleaning any angst, any sort of heaviness or discomfort that you're feeling, either emotional or physical, just for this moment. If you want to visualize that sparkling gold, rose gold colored light, transforming the heaviness, which would be sort of a dark, muted color, lifting it up, lighting it up, and lightening it. So just stay in your heart field for a few more seconds. And then start expanding that field. So that love field, that light has formed a sphere, a ball of light from your center, and start expanding it out from your heart to the rest of your body. And as it expands, it cleans and clears anything that is not of service to you at this time within your body, moving through, transforming, healing if necessary. And now before you extend that field outside of your body, become aware of your own unconditional love for Mother Nature in all her beauty, in all her forms, every being. And let that energy of your unconditional love merge with Mother Nature's unconditional love, forming one heart field, and start expanding it out to include all the beings that may be sitting near you at this time. Maybe your animal friends or plant friends, any insects that may be in the room. There is no separation. Now extend that further outside the walls and the boundaries of your home. And then further still, extending that over the earth's surface, connecting you with all beings, the wild beings, the domesticated beings, those that are held in captivity and those that are wild and free, the plant beings, the water beings, the minerals and metals, the soil, the earth. There is no separation, and there's no limit to this heart field. Feel the connection that you have with all the people that have joined this call today or watching the replay. And our intention today is to be of service, to learn, to trust, to listen. Feel safe in this heart field, that only those of service will be able to influence you, and of service to Mother Nature, to the highest good of all beings at this time. And just feel that intention settle into your cells. Feel the connection that you may have felt with the white lions for a long time. Perhaps you've only just been called. but feel that connection. As you open your eyes, if they're closed, and gaze into Mandla's beautiful golden eyes. Focus on your breath. Feel the gratitude in your heart. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel your feet firmly on the ground. You can move your toes and your fingers. And when you are ready, come back into the room, into the gathering, and bring your awareness back. Okay, everyone, thank you. Just give you a few moments. As is tradition with all my heart work, and especially the StarLion Journey work, I'm going to draw a card from the White Lion Leadership deck for guidance for this group this time. So this one doesn't have much explanation needed. Respect. If you put your viewing screen on speaker view, then you'll see it in large format. Okay. So this is about, and I suppose it is appropriate because what I'm going to be speaking about today is about the sacred site of the heartlands and how we need to be respectful, even on a virtual entering of the property of the site. And it's just a reminder that sometimes we don't realize how powerful our intentions can be, even from a distance. And the virtual journeys really show that. They show how we can influence nature and others, even when we are not in close proximity physically to them. So I think that is what we need to be mindful of throughout this gathering today. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen again. Okay. So I know my mouse clicks very loudly. I try not to use it too much. So the intentions for the actual journey, it hasn't changed throughout the last few years, and it is about attuning into the energy of the land and the lions and all beings of nature, becoming more familiar with interspecies communication for those of you who are not experienced with it, receiving guidance from the lions and from all the nature beings that we come into contact with. And I describe it as a heart storm with Mother Nature. And it is a heart storm because it's really receiving guidance in these incredibly intense times. We thought they were intense just in the COVID, I want to say the COVID years. We're still in the COVID years. but we thought it was intense then when we first started these journeys, and it feels like it's ramped up even more now. So this work is even more vital, I believe. So it's about receiving information, find out how we can navigate these times and how we can assist Mother Nature during our navigations, and how we can keep the integrity of Earth and really be respectful in every action that we take and every thought and feeling that we have, just to keep us aligned and centered in everything that we do, every decision we take, because everything we do has a consequence and has influence. And it's about working with sacred activism. That's what the heart work is. It's putting our love into action. So it's not just, there's a lot of visualization and meditation involved, but then there's also action as well that comes with it. And I'll explain a bit more on that later. Okay, how the virtual journey started. Now, as you have, I'm sure you realize by now that it was in March 2020 when South Africa went into lockdown. And I had an in-person journey booked. I had a few people booked already for it in sort of April, I think maybe May. And do you remember those months when we thought it would only last maybe a month or two, and we weren't sure if it would open up in time? And when it was clear that it wasn't going to open up, travel wasn't going to be allowed for a while, I thought, how can I carry on supporting the trust? Because my work, the journeys that I've been doing for the last 10 years have been helping with the bread and butter staples of just keeping the trust running, along, of course, with their own private fundraising and donors. But I wanted to carry on assisting, and then I just got inspiration. I asked the lions, how can I assist? What can I do? And I got this inspiration to do virtual journeys. Now, I knew that, there's things like Wild Earth and Africam take people on live journeys into the bush. But we don't have the technology to do that. And to be honest, we don't really want the technology to do that because that means cell phone towers and all sorts of things. That we are trying to avoid. We want to keep the energy pristine in the environment as well. And so we came up with the idea of actually taking video footage of a bush drive, the line checks that we would do. We don't take videos when we go on bush drives with guests, but we wanted to simulate an actual journey, and we didn't know if it was going to work. So I invited a few trusted people for the first experimental journey, and some of them are here on the call today. So I just have to say thank you to all of you for being brave enough to assist with this. And it really was an incredible success, beyond our expectations, from the animals themselves choreographing the videos that we were taking. We couldn't have scripted it better. I remember when we went to see the one pride who is very elusive normally. We weren't even sure if we would be able to get a glimpse of them. And one after the other. And I don't know, those of you who were on that journey, if you remember Ngwavuma and his family just stepping out into direct view of the camera and connecting and communicating with us. And it's been like that ever since. We've done, I think, 5 Virtual StarLion Journeys since then. And it really has been that way. Whatever is needed to be passed on at the time is. And so we've learned to really just trust, even when it's been really tricky with the prides in the Boma. One of the virtual journeys we had, there was only one pride that was roaming free, and the others, for various reasons, whether it was injuries or movement on the properties, they had to be in their protected areas. And then we didn't know if we were going to see any lions roaming free. Of course, we did see the ones in the Boma. And, fantastically, I don't know why we had any doubt, because they showed up, as now we know they do, although we do not take that for granted ever. We always ask permission before entering into the space. And we've had times where we actually haven't done the preparation meditation before going, and thinking, we just need a little bit more footage this morning, so let's go out this morning. And if we go in rushed, we don't see anything, and then we remind ourselves, okay, we need to sit and connect and ask permission, and then the show unfolds. So it really is beautiful work, this. So for you that aren't familiar with where Tsao Conservancy is, that's a map of South Africa. I'm speaking to you now from a place called Wilderness. That's where that little dolphin is. And actually in the lockdown years, Simon and I actually drove from Cape Town right across the country to get to Tsao. It was, a 2-day journey. And of course, the Tsao Conservancy is bordering on the Timbavati Nature Reserve, the Kruger Park, and this line here is the Golden Meridian, the Nile Meridian, where all the sacred sites are. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. Just a word on the heartlands and how it has this particular, where Camp Unicorn, where everyone is used to staying. In January in 2020, Linda went to the World Economic Forum in Davos, and this site was declared a sacred site with the Asagaya Declaration of Sacred Natural Sites, which include a whole lot of other sacred sites around the world that are recognized by Indigenous people. But just before that event, there was an incredible event marking the spot of the heartlands in Tsao, and that was a lightning strike that burnt down the cottage that Linda was living in at the time, and just burnt it down to the ground with every sacred object in it melting into the earth and not affecting anything else in the surround. So it wasn't it was just an internal fire. It was a really curious and miraculous event, very astonishing and traumatic for those involved. Nobody was hurt. Linda was actually off-site at the time with Madash, her beloved canine friend. And so this was such a significant happening, and Linda realized that this spot she had guidance that this spot marked the center of the heartlands. And she was guided to build the sacred stone circle in honor of Mother Nature, and with the help of artist, South African sculptor Andries Botha, who you can see standing next to Linda there, and the gogos, who we call them, the medicine woman, and of course the managers, the people. Chris is a master builder who assisted. And this incredible space evolved, and it is very sacred. It is only used for specific ceremonies. Visitors actually cannot access the site unless they have almost been initiated. And so for me, the way of bringing people to the heartlands has changed. And that's why I'm doing the virtual journeys, because it feels like you need to be really prepared before you come in to visit the heartlands. And part of that preparation is a virtual journey. And I've heard a lot of people, a couple of people have visited the heartlands after in physical form after participating in a virtual journey. And they have said to me it was so vital for them to have participated in the virtual journey before actually stepping onto those sacred lands, because the energy has shifted to such an extent. It is so powerful, and the frequency is so high that you get thrown if you haven't prepared yourself properly. So it may sound strange if you're not used to this kind of work, but with the 20 years of experience of working with the energy of these lands, I can attest to that. Okay, enough from me. I'm going to hand over to Simon for the practical part of how to prepare for the virtual journey. Simon?
Yes, can you hear and see me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Winter. Hello, everyone. As Winter said, I'm the cameraman and the administrator, and generally try to facilitate everyone having a great experience. And I think the preparation is everything. And Winter's asked me to talk just a bit about the practical side of things. And I know there's about 5 or 6 people who have been on this journey before and on these calls before. So I'm sorry if I'm going to bore you by saying the same things, but there's a lot of people who haven't heard this. But I just feel that the preparation is also extremely important mentally before you even decide to go on the journey. Are you ready for this? Are you spiritually and emotionally and psychologically okay? Because I think a lot of people experience some significant shifts in their own consciousness. And that's not to create an expectation, because you may not if you attend. But if you do, then you need to be preparing yourself emotionally and mentally for that. But in terms of assisting that, what is really important is to try to imagine that you're going away for 4 days. You're packing your case, you're making sure all calls are on hold, you've got enough dog and cat food in for that period of time, and you've told people that you won't be available for that period of time because you are looking to create a quiet and sacred space for yourself. Quiet from interruptions from outside, but also something that's comfortable for you. So you may have candles burning and plenty of cushions around just so that you can relax and contemplate and think through all the messages that you could and may be receiving. The time aspect and the nature time aspect, you must give yourself time in between the aspects that you're actually online. You're online quite a lot. Maybe is it about an hour, hour and a half in the morning, and maybe 2 hours in the afternoon, which is quite a lot of screen time. But you need to give yourself plenty of space and time to, as I say, to ruminate on what you might have heard and thought you've heard, and to write your messages down and to discuss with others who are also on the journey. Winter will be telling you about the ways you do that through the forums that she's created. When we're at the Heartlands, everyone is vegan. And so being part of the journey, fully encapsulating the experience, would suggest that you, if you're not vegan, could try doing so. And we fortunately have the wonderful talents of Enilani, the chef there at Sao Conservancy, and we persuaded her to write down a lot of her recipes, which will be shared with you. So we could even all be eating the same meals at the same time, but obviously it's up to you. But that's part of the preparation, in order that you haven't got to think about that or do the shopping during the meeting, during the actual the journey. But that will be supplied to you if you'd like to take that up. And I know a lot of people have tried these recipes, and again, you talk to your fellow participants and you compare notes and tell each other which ones work and which are really delicious, although they all are. So that will be there for you as well. And the last point there on the list is technology. You can't do this without a stable, fast internet link, just because you don't need to think about that. You don't need problems with technology to distract you from the important work that you could and should be doing. So make sure you've probably got electricity. Unlike us in South Africa, we have about between 2 and 4 hours where we don't have electricity every day. We're normally told which hours those are, and that's a little bit of a challenge. So we have to get the battery backups going, especially when we're supposed to be online. But it's making sure your phone lines, your internets are going to be working. Better not to do it on a cell phone, but if that's all you've got, then please join. But if you're doing that, then you need to make sure your cell phone towers are working and all that sort of thing. That may be all obvious, but it's better to consider these weeks in advance, just to make sure that the experience is exactly that. It's an experience. And that's the feedback we've got. What an amazing experience most people have. And we just want to make sure it's the same for you. I think that's probably covered everything, Winter. Is that okay?
Yes, I think that's perfect. Thanks, Simon. I think you covered everything there. And just an explanation of this picture was where we, because of the load shedding at that time when there was power off, this was from I think our very first or perhaps second journey, we had to actually go to the high point, which is this little tree house in the middle of the bush, to work and in the middle of nowhere, quite far from the camp. We've now got a bit of a better backup system for the power outages, because you literally can't function in South Africa without them. Okay, I want to just talk a little bit about the timing. And again, Eleni, this is one of your photographs of the sun setting on, was it rising on Mara Plains? So some of the challenges of people who are living in a different time zone is that we do stick to lion time. So the first day is, the Friday is so quite an easy time for most people, 4 p.m. lion time in the afternoon, and that's a welcome and intention setting with Linda and myself, where Linda creates the energetic safe space for the entire journey, and then we each individually set intentions. Day 2 and 3, the Saturday and the Sunday, are very similar. Well, actually, the rest of the days are similar time-wise. But we start in the very early morning at sunrise in the bush, which is about 6 o'clock, or just before 6 a.m. And we gathered all together at the same time so that everyone needs to adjust to lion time. And this may sound challenging, but I'm going to ask a couple of the past participants how they managed to adjust and work with the time differences. because sometimes it does mean adjusting your sleep patterns when some people are sleeping while others are journaling, in the break times, because we do have break time where you can start processing what the information that you received in the morning on the visits. In the afternoons, we gather for workshopping. Day 2, Linda does about an hour's presentation on the white lions and her work. And even if you've seen it before, it's always slightly different. It's always great to review her take on things, because of course we are always growing and learning more every moment of every day, especially with the lions. The shifts are incredible at the moment. And yeah, and then day 4, Monday, is the last day. So we have a bush visit, which actually on I was thinking we do a live bush in a bush visit into the Kruger, which yes, we do. So we actually on the last day we work with Africam, one of the live webcams, and we spend time. So it's not pre-recorded, it's actually live, and it's in the Kruger National Park, which is just bordering the heartland. So not actually in the protected areas of the white lions, but it is in a protected area, in the biggest protected wildlife reserve in South Africa. And then we see what comes there. In the afternoon, we consolidate everything and we see what have we learned, how do we go forward. And then we have a closing with Linda, sort of a closing ceremony with Linda and myself as well, revisiting our intentions and seeing what is going to be different from the end of the journey. How is life different for you, and how we can assist as a group or as individuals as well. During the journey and when you sign up, you'll be directed to this community forum, which is hosted on my Animal Talk Africa Online Academy site. It is a private, hidden site, so nobody else can have access to that. You have to be invited, and then I send you a link. You can see this is for the April journey, and there's about 8 members signed up already. And the ideal number is about, we limit it to 20. I think that's otherwise it gets a bit much. So there is still space. But we've done 25 before, and it worked well. And this is a place where all the resources will be found. So the recipes that Enolani has, the maps that we talk about, resources that you might want to share as well. Everything that is pertaining to the journey you will find on this forum. And then during the journey, it's a place where you share your messages from nature and start doing, actually doing the work, journaling and sharing with others. We do share in the workshop time as well. So it's not all written down. So if you don't have time to write it down, you share it in the workshop time. So there's no pressure. It's just a beautiful way to interact, like you would on a physical workshop. You'd have time to get to know your participants when you're over a cup of tea or coffee, when you're not doing work time. Okay, and we've been told that one of the biggest benefits of this is to be able to share with like-minded people, to be able to go into the breakout rooms and to share on a forum like this. Like-minded, like-hearted, I prefer saying. This is a map just to see. I think this was the second or third journey that we did of all the participants and where they came from. We have since had someone from Japan. We haven't yet had anyone from Australia. I'm hoping that there's a couple of really great supporters that are in Australia that they might brave the time difference. But so far we've had, you can see the sort of variety of places that participate. Just a reminder that when you do register for this journey, you receive access to this mini course that I created in 2021, which is, it gives you a practice session for animal communication. So it speaks, if you haven't had experience, if you don't know how animal communication works, but you work with sacred practices and you are very in tune, just gives you an overview of the processes and the concept of interspecies communication, how I work and how I teach it. And the concept of heart, again, the heart energy achieving real transformation is something that I developed late 2019, actually just before these strange years. Okay, and that's worth about $55, I think. And you can do the course in your own time. It normally takes, I would give yourself about a week to actually do it. It's in different parts. There's video replays of the live session because the original course was a live session. And then there's modules that you can go through. There's meditations to listen to and work with. I'd say give yourself about a week, but you could do it in less days, maybe 3 or 4 days as well. But give yourself time to do that if you'd like to, if you aren't familiar with this heart work. I want to talk to you a little bit about the heart pride, which is it came about after our first Virtual StarLion Journey with that wonderful, intrepid group of virtual travelers. We started doing work, the heart work, as a group, guided by nature, and that has extended into a membership, an actual paid-for membership site now, which some of you may be familiar with. And I just wanted to give an overview of the work that we have done so far and are continuing to work with. So the very first project we worked with was Alpha and Omega, the rescued lionesses. We formed a campaign called Sacred and Wild to get their message out and to raise funds for them. It was a beautiful project, and it is ongoing, although the focus isn't solely on them anymore because they're quite secure. And at the time, I think of our second Heart Pride, our second virtual journey, they had just arrived and their future was not secure yet. And I believe the heart work assisted in securing their future at the trust. Then if you do follow the trust, White Line Trust, you'll know about the Sunlands, where the painted wolves, the wild dogs, moved in even before the contracts were signed to do their sacred work. And this was the first time they had actually denned on this particular land, which was fraught with people wanting to abuse nature. It was a citrus farm, and that went bankrupt, and the White Line Trust managed to secure that to bring into the heartlands and to protect the nature that was already there and to regenerate the lands that had been destroyed. And of course the water rights as well came with that land, which was vital to clear that water. Other things that we've been working with, a project that I've been personally involved with Animal Talk Africa, is rescuing an elephant called Swali. That's ongoing. And the expansion of the heartlands and purchasing more property. We've been working on clearing those new lands energetically and making space for it. And so the Heart Pride is really involved in supporting energetically the physical on the ground work of the trust and of myself doing Animal Talk Africa rescue work as well. So the donations requested, this is a fundraiser for the Global White Lion Protection Trust, but we also have to cover our costs, which the travel costs are a lot more than they used to be when we first started this. So the donation requested has gone up slightly from last year. We do make payment plans available, and options can be discussed. Heart Pride members, paid up Heart Pride members, do receive the appropriate discounts. And if there's going to be a new intake of membership on the 5th of May, which is just after this journey. But if you are interested in registering for this new intake, if you're not already a member, please just email me and we can see if we can work the discount early for this journey. Just wanted to introduce you to some of the team. Mama Weena she's actually retiring now. She's not working for the trust anymore, but she was a founding member of the Human Pride at the trust, and very much beloved elder Gogo. Enalani, beautiful Enalani, who's our head chef. She's got her assistants, Asnat. Tanika is no longer there, unfortunately, but she's working with an affiliated organization. We've got the managers, Chris and Champs. We've got Ruben, our guide. We've got the ladies who do work in the field. I can see Sunny there. I can't see the other people, but you don't get to see them much because they are doing all their work in the field. And then the most important people in the camp, for me anyway, are Gorgeous and dear Madash, who's the ambassador in the camp. Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing for a little bit before we open up for questions, and I'd love some of the past participants to perhaps share a little bit about how they navigated the time zones. Gail, I saw you with Gail Clement. Would you be happy to speak to that?
Yes, I would. Hello, everyone. So lovely to see you all again. I started with the second virtual journey, which was life-changing. And literally time suspends. You get into, at least for me, I got into the state so deeply that night and day would reverse, and I just reorganized my life around the times that we were present together. And so the intensity of the experience was such that whenever I was not actively involved, I was sleeping because I was processing so deeply. So in a way, it didn't interrupt my sleep schedule at all because it became renewed and focused on the journey. And I do hope that people join us because it's been and is a profound experience, and really, I believe, is supporting nature in many, many levels. So thank you.
Sorry, I muted myself there. Thank you, Gail. That's wonderful. Sammy, could you say a few words? I see your hand up. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Winter. I do have to leave for work in a few moments, so I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to share. First of all, I would like to say I'm so happy that these wonderful people are interested and want to join us. Napping is very important and valuable for those of us who live in different time zones. I found this early on, and it really restored me, and I was able to plug into lion time so much more easily. So not to worry, it can be done, and it can flow even more so, because it makes us more vulnerable and open. At least that was my experience. And then just briefly, not only are these journeys so life-changing, so revitalizing, but they're critical, they're necessary for us, because apart from those of us who cannot travel physically to the heartlands, it is, I never thought I could communicate with nature. Even though I love nature and the animals, but this showed me not only I can, but how deeply I can, and everyone can, we all can. And receiving this connection and these messages really has, for me, directed me to be more accurate in what I can do to helping the planet restore itself. Everyone, all of us, humans, together with the nature people, all of nature. So it is so important. And just lastly, there's no separation. When I'm on the virtual journey, I am there. I'm there, like I'm here now with you, present. And so I can't say, I would like to say more and more and more, but I just hope you all join. And I hope the world eventually joins. Thank you.
Sami, thank you so much. I don't know if anyone can add any more to that. I know Eleni and Janine and Susanka all have that, but I've realized the time is running. So Eleni, if you want to say a couple of words, that would be great. But
I honestly don't know how to top that, Sami. Thank you so much. I'm just going to add something about the sensations. Not only is it how animal communication makes this, nature communication makes this possible to connect and actually be there, but also to just ask the animals to give us the sensations. What does it smell like? How does the breeze feel on against your fur or your feathers? And just actually delving into those communications to receive those sensations, it's remarkable. I remember, I mean, I've been in, I think, all the journeys. And I remember that it was raining, and I swear to God, I think I was just smelling the rain in the ground, and it was just incredible. And not only that, I need to add that because of my work is with conservation and rescue animals, it has become such an important tool and support to be part of these journeys and the heart pride. There are moments that I am tired and sad, and this is my family, and I have support, and they always pick me up, and then I come back to my service work and I can pick others up, and that's the most important thing for me, to be able to be supported to do that work for animals and nature at times that are really auspicious, and tragedy hits us left and right. But there's so much beauty in nature. There's so much beauty in communicating with the white lions and the heartlands and these territories. And Winter, you just make this magical. You just make it so easy. Thank you. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Oh, Lenny, thank you. I just love having this group as well. For we all benefit. Everyone benefits.
Everyone, yes.
Thank you so much. Carmen, I see your hands up. Do you have a question? Carmen, oh no. Oh, you put it down. Okay. Thank you. I would like to open up for questions if there are any questions. We are probably going to run over time a little bit because I do want to do the heart meditation. But if there are any questions, please go ahead and ask. You can either put your hand up or you can write in the chat. Is there a hand raised? Marie Claire, yes, sorry.
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me to listen. I was so excited when I received the email this morning. I just wanted to clarify that the session, the days begin at 6 o'clock Lion time and they finish at 7 o'clock in the evening Lion time. Are we on Zoom? Are we on Zoom the whole time, or is it from 6 till 7 and then 4 till 7? I just wanted to know, with other people using Zoom and trying to figure out logistics.
Yeah, so good question. We aren't on Zoom the whole time, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning to around about 7:30, maybe possibly 8 a.m. Lion time, and then in the evenings from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So three hours, and then we have about a half an hour break in that time, because I really, I wanted to limit the screen time, and then you can choose to interact as much as you want on the community forum. It seems to work that way. So I think we've got the recipe right for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? It's also wonderful to, because we watch the footage in the morning, but you still have access to that footage throughout your journey and beyond as well. So you can revisit the spaces as well. It's not just, that's it, because sometimes you want to go a little bit deeper and, what was that feeling I got from that particular bird or that particular animal? So you can use that time to take as long as a time as you want to watch that footage. You can start and stop it. It is on a private YouTube link, which you get given the link on that morning. So you can't pre-watch it. We all have to watch it together at the same time, and then you can watch it in your own time. Okay. All right, everyone. So if everyone is happy, you can also email questions to me or to bookings@starlions.org. I'm going to share my screen again. Going through just to show where you can, if you want to book. It's a Google booking form. You can find the link on either the link in the email that you sent that I sent this morning, or the go to StarLion Journeys, go to upcoming journeys, and all the details are there. The link to the Google form. Once you've filled in all your details, I then will send you our banking details. I haven't got them online. Because there's certain questions that you need to answer, and I just need to see if we can assist, if there's payment issues or anything. It's not an automatic thing, so I will send you all those details. Okay, is everybody, I'm just going to stop for a bit so I can see the screen. Everybody ready for a short heart meditation? Good. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So let's rest our eyes on beloved Mara, the founding lioness, who was born on Christmas Day and then went to the ancestral realms at Easter time when she was only 5 years old. Oh, 7 years old, sorry, not 5 years old, 7 years old. But her children carried on her legacy, and she is really felt in the heartlands, and her presence is felt always. I have her with me in my studio room here, and I was very honored to be able to meet her in person. Okay. So once again, close your eyes or rest them on Mara's beautiful eyes. And focus on the rhythms of your breath. And take your awareness back into that heart field that we co-created at the beginning of this gathering. Feel that connection with all that is, that one heart. And as we ask for guidance from the star lines, those in the ancestral realms, Mara, Mandla, Lataba, Reduce, Cleopatra, Inyaleti, Kalunga, all those who have walked on this earth, in those protective lands, creating this new earth, assisting in creating this new earth. We ask for guidance at this time. On how we can assist in this great plan, as individuals or as a group. Be still, be calm, be quiet, be in this heart space at all times. We are with you. Know that you can be in this space while you are going about your day. Be in this space, be grounded in this space, in every moment. Let your heart guide you, let your heart lead. When things go crazy, sink into your heart, breathe into your heart, be in your heart. That is where we are. That is where nature is. That is where you find guidance for every moment. Breathe with your heart, walk with your heart, fly with your heart, dream with your heart. Take action with your heart. Stay centered in your heart. This heart space is not an emotional minefield. It is grounding. It is solid. It will hold you safe. Be with us in this space. We love you. You are love. You are truth. You are safe. You are strong. You are with us, and we are with you. We speak with the voice of Mother Nature. You can hear this voice. You can be the spoken voice. That is what we ask at this time. Thank you. Let us feel now the gratitude in our hearts. Let us celebrate. Let us celebrate with all of nature's beings in the heartlands and beyond. Those beings that are with you in your backyard, in the nature that you know, that is indigenous to your space. Listen to the knowledge that is carried, the wisdom that is carried within your nature. This knowledge is surrounding you at all times. You are surrounded by love. We are surrounded by love. Know that you are not alone, and we have the support. We have the support of each other who have experienced these journeys together. And we always have the support of Mother Nature. When we are in service of her, when we commit to being in service and to listening and taking that guidance to heart. Just feel that energy, that knowledge start filtering into the very cells of your body and starting to give you that energy to be of the greatest service that you can possibly be at this time. You have the strength, you have the energy of Mother Nature with you. Just breathe that in, and I want to close on that note of staying in that heart field. Open your eyes, but stay in that heart field. Feel your ground, your feet connected to the ground beneath you. Feel the ground supporting you. Know that we can be in this heart space in a very grounded and connected way. And the lions assist us. That is what they do every single day. They walk their heartbeat into the earth. They are physical, they are active, they work hard, and they play hard, and they celebrate, and they do the peace work. They do the healing work. And we can be like that. We are like that. We were born to be that way. There is no separation. So I hope these words have assisted in whatever you may be going through at this time. I think it's challenging for everybody, but know that you have the support. I'm going to stop sharing now as you come back, bring your awareness back into the room. And really heartfelt thanks. If you've missed any part of this session, you can always watch the replay. If you want to have a copy of that meditation as well, I'll see if I can save it as an audio file to use. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm not going to talk too much more. I'd like to leave you in that space. If you do have questions, please don't hesitate to email and we will answer them. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Simon. Janine, I forgot to make you co-host, but we didn't need to. Eleni, Zuzanka, Sammy, Simon I've already thanked. Gail, thank you, everybody. And I hope to see you at the end of April. Oh, okay, if not before. Thank you. With much love.